Equipment conversion, 4 trees, new music, art, and new puppet and Diplo interactions, what the Steam page says about Death of Dishonor. Yeah, which is what I suspected. I think the air updates were part of the patch. So you'll get them even if you don't have the DLC. So no, that DLC is not worthwhile. It was a huge disappointment. And usually I hold Paradox in extremely high esteem. Like, they are easily my favourite development company, publishing company. But that was a massive letdown, and I actually did. I'm not in the habit of like criticizing public videos and stuff, but I definitely criticized that one. I actually put a video out saying just don't bother with this; it's not good enough. And they seem to have learnt from that mistake because Waking the Tiger is shaping up to be a lot better. A patriotic ceremony. The mayor of one of our cities has proposed to organise a great patriotic ceremony to help improve morale and to commemorate our nation's heroes and our glorious leader. Hey, if you want to commemorate Wrangel, that is totally fine by me. In fact, every day should be commemorating Wrangel. Turkestan Khanate declared war on Alish order. So all 3 of these are fighting each other now. Interesting. Right, how's the supply situation? Still problematic, but that's because there are just more troops over there. Alright, let's build another one over there. Need to make sure we keep the supply over here because that's going to be far more dangerous. Though we are down to 64, so we are gaining in terms of supply. And the fact that Japan is not pushing us is good for us. The longer the war lasts, the better it is for us. Check the mute that time. And there we go. We have motorized, which will allow me to get field hospitals. Although, actually, I think what you were saying earlier about heavy fighters, entirely true. We do need heavy fighters. Are heavy fighters improved by the fighter technologies? Yes, they are. Interesting. Then maybe we will be focusing on the heavy fighters. Well, alright then. Japan manpower, they have got 200,000 on limited. I have got 1.23 million on volunteer only. Like I said, the Achilles heel for Japan is their manpower. If you manage to out-damage them, which we are now, it's 2-1 rather than 5-1 losses, we'll win this eventually. It's just a war of attrition. And they're letting me win right now. It's still 38, though right at the end of it. I think I will research field hospitals, just to make sure I have it. Did the Ottomans really just lose against the Kurds? And everyone else. I mean, the Ottomans are at war with Armenia, Kurdistan, Persia, Arabia, Egypt, Tripolitania. They did, no, they lost to Cyprus too. How do you lose to Cyprus? That is physically impossible. Cyprus starts with 1 division. As soon as Cyprus declares war, you get gifted 2 divisions. You cannot lose that fight. And yet the AI does it every single time. Is what I say to that. Fall of Burgos. Fall of Burgos confirms the Carlos temporary capital has been captured by advancing Spanish troops after skirmishes in the hilly countryside. Oh geez, Kingdom of Spain is roaring out of this. They didn't need my support. And the USA, if the USA is coming back in a big way. If the USA actually takes out the PSA, they can focus entirely on these two. I remember the AOS were like out to here or something. And the CSA is being pushed. They were on the outskirts of Atlanta. That is one hell of a comeback. Right. One thing I do want to make sure I have researched is... Yeah, good. Transports. Although I would like the 1940 technology, but obviously not yet. It's December 38, so we'll wait a little bit longer. I think it's the opposite. Cyprus gets 2, Kebab gets 1. Nope. Definitely not. When I was playing as the Ottomans, I got 2 units and I was able to just attack. Oh, I win. Fantastic. Game over for them. Right, I can get construction brigades, which gives me 2 civilian factories and 2 military factories, and removes further stabilization completely, and gives me construction speed and national unity. And the further stabilization is one of the really big penalties I have. 10% production efficiency, 10% factory output, and 5% consumer goods factories. So yes, that is a big change. With the much needed mechanization initiated, we should set up new factories with less and less farmhands needed on the countryside. We should organize temporary construction teams called construction brigades, and put these young, able men to work at our factory lines. Well, alright then. Also, research. No, wait until the end of the year. Regular fighters are much better stats than heavy fighters. Yeah, but that doesn't matter when the combat zones are huge and you suffer penalties because of the range. Which is extremely true, because Eastern Siberia, just look how big that zone is. And even the other ones are massive compared to the European. Like that compared to these. And even then, fighters will cover like half of this. Heavy fighters could cover probably about 3/4. At least the early ones. But I was going to develop both in parallel. And we've got prepared defense. Let's go on to grand assault, which is more breakthrough. Not so useful right now, but also soft attack, which is. And also 39 technology, which would be construction. Boom. Okay, we are back to building factories. Still having infrastructure problems. Oh, the problem's here. I see. Why are you transporting through what? Oh, I see, it takes all 3 into account. Then yes, I want that upgraded. Oh, I see. Okay, fair enough, Trotling. Our ideology has grown. Excellent. In my case, heavy fighters are definitely the way to go, just that someone said the heavy fighters are twice as good as regular fighters, which I said the thing about stats. No, I agree with you. The main reason to go heavy fighter is the range. If you don't need the range, then regular fighters win every time. Except if you're fighting bombers. If you're fighting a lot of enemy bombers, then you do want heavy fighters because they are more effective against bombers, especially strategic bombers. Regular fighters just don't have the weapon attack, while heavy fighters do. But if your enemy is using a lot of strategic bombers instead of fighters, then they're doing something very wrong. Because air superiority is so much stronger. In fact, strategic bombers all around are just really underwhelming. Yeah, we should get that stuff built up pretty quickly. Is there anything else that we can do industrially after the construction brigades? Well, we need to get the railways. Vladimir Pukovich dies. A notable figure of the conservative movement, and perhaps the last true landowner in Russia, has died yesterday in his rural estate. It is feared that his death may cause some great reshuffling on the right side of the political scene. You must take the 6 focuses of an industrial path to unlock this. Oh, you mean these? Yeah, okay. And have more than 80 factories. We're still a ways away from that. So we'll grab the railways for the infrastructure boons. And then after that, maybe back to the army. Because these are all diplomatic. I'm not really in a position to do anything diplomatically right now. What do you miss? Is Japan dead yet? No. Not really. And Japan is still not really attacking me either. Which is most disappointing. Come on, attack me and lose people. It's the way this works. Or at least my attrition is down quite significantly, so I'm not going to be losing much stuff. Though I should probably keep an eye on this. I'm losing 1,600 in the last year, and I've lost 700 to combat. It's not actually too shabby. That's totally fine. Kingdom of Spain took out the Carlists. Civil War is over. And the USA is still kicking ass and taking names. End of the Spanish Civil War. We get 100 political power. For good or ill, the Spanish War is now over. The General Staff have reported they learned many valuable lessons regarding the nature of modern warfare over the course of the conflict. And we've got the construction brigades. Magnificent. So at this point I'm going to get the Russian railways and then the expansion of the Trans-Siberian Railroad. Which should hopefully help quite a lot, actually. And then after that I might just not take a focus for a year. Just so I can recover my political power. That's probably actually a good idea. In the mid-1920s, the Russian railways were privatized by more than 20 joint stock companies which often couldn't improve the railroads and extended them so steadily as in the Tsarist era. Some reforms will have to be done to improve our decadent railway system in the central Russia and reorganize its current management. Nadezhda Krupskaya dies. Nadezhda Krupskaya has passed away. Being Lenin's widow, she became the symbol for all remaining Bolsheviks after the disaster of the Civil War. In 1922, she was elected in the 6th Duma and started a campaign against illiteracy that, with the support by the president, launched in 1924. She decided not to participate in the 8th Duma elections. Her last official appearance was on the First Council of Novoye Bolshevik Bloc. There she blessed Bukharin and said, "Lenin has died, but his cause lives." If you take the Siberian Railway, make sure not to lose any more ground to the Japanese. I intend not to lose any more ground to the Japanese. South Rhodesia has capitulated. Oh, jeez. Alexiev dies. A hero of the Civil War passed away peacefully in his manor near Smolensk. A hero of the Civil War passed away peacefully in his manor near Irkutsk. Am I running out of generals? No. We're good. Wait, you defected. Why are you back? Traitor should be shot. Can I delete a general? Please let me delete a general. Nope. Hal Samuel, thank you very much for the follow. So Japan, are you really just sitting around, not really going to attack me or anything? It would seem that way. Well, alright then. Construction 3. Excellent. Even more faster. Vroom vroom. Production efficiency cap or factory output. That's a 15% output. We're going to go with the factory output. Because production efficiency needs to be built up to. Youth organisation sends volunteers. Good. That's a different general order. You're implying that all Chinese people look alike. Are you sure? Because I only had the one general who didn't have a portrait. And I'm pretty sure it began with a Z. How's Fentiang and Transama doing manpower-wise? Last time I checked, Transama are out. Oh no, they've changed. They are now onto service by requirement. Huzzah! Canadian Husky, thank you very much for the sub. Or to Death QWERTY, I guess I should say. This gifting system is awesome. Italian Federation declared war on the Socialist Republic of Italy. That's not good for Italy because the French aren't fighting Germany yet. Should do a Trans-Samurai LP someday. One day I might. They do actually have a focus tree, I think. Yeah, they do. Quite a big one. And their full name is the Trans-Samuraian Admiralty. Like, all the samurais in an admiralty. It's like samurais and navies joined together. Minister supports the ideology. Fine. Fall of Rome. That was quick. Yeah, the socialists are actually beating the Italians. I'm not sure how, with their 25 divisions against 70. But well played to them. Oh, that's the Ottomans out. And they form Turkey, which does not have a focus tree. They have now lost 80,000 men to my 136. Good, 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 good. Russian railways are done. Let's move on to the... Oh, I can't. We liberated the Siberian part of the Trans-Siberian Railroad occupied by Sternberg and can reach the Amur River. Oh, I have to take that from Mongolia. I see. So how does one go about doing that? Demand to Northern Mongolia, befriend Mongolia. That's how you would do it. I mean, who wouldn't want Sternberg on their side? I mean, ordinarily, I'm in a bit of a conquering mood, but this is Roman von Onberg. Genghis Khan II that I'm talking about here. The Italians are fighting on two fronts. Yeah, I know, but still. They're losing to the one side, which is usually utterly terrible and just loses like that in any war. That's why I'm so surprised. Yeah, Persia did well out of that war. Armenia's alive, Kurdistan's alive, Arabia's alive. Actually, Arabia usually is, but much smaller. Socialist Republic of Italy took 10 states, Communist France took 4. Italian Federation annexed. So we have an entirely socialist Italy. That is the first time I've ever seen that happen. The absolute first time. Right, so I could get a focus at this point, but I think I'm actually not going to. I'm just seeing if there's actually any difference between those, except for the fact that one of them gives... world tension. By taking expansionism, you'll have more aggressive options in the diplomatic events and focuses, but you will increase world tension and anger the countries around you. Okay. Research. Industry. Go. Battle Pope isn't in power, that's why. Should bring back the Halloween portraits. Alright, Field Hospital 1, done. Next up will be... You know what? Logistics companies for Russia could actually be good considering the poor state of infrastructure, although I'm building it up, so it's not so bad. Artillery... Huzzah! Trotling and death to QWERTY once more. Thank you very much. You're on a roll. Did you know Russia can track its origins to Slavic tribe that settled in about 800 AC? No, that's not the Kievan Rus. The Kievan Rus were actually Vikings. Kievan Rus, Novgorod, and... pretty sure there were 3, but those are the 2 big ones. And they formed along the Dnieper River because that was the main way to get to Constantinople. It was much quicker going along the rivers through Russia than it was all the way around. So you had Novgorod here, and then Kiev down here. So you go up to here, Novgorod, down this river, down that river. Some of the rivers down here. Is that a river? Yeah, here. So it's from here, skip across to there, down here, past Kiev, through here, and boom, you're in Constantinople. Or Byzantium as it was at the time. Right, what's next? I need to do stuff. Better guns. Probably should have done that a bit earlier. Never mind. And I did say I'm not going to take a focus for a while because I want to recover the political power. So that is the other thing I'm going to do. And I have no idea if it's true. It probably isn't, but it's a story I absolutely love. The name Russia came from Rus, which is what the Finns called the Vikings, because it meant those who row away. So there was a tribe of what were called the Rus in Sweden, who were the ones who settled Kievan Rus and Novgorod, eventually giving the name to Russia. Don't know if that's true. It's just a story I particularly like, especially the part of calling an entire tribe those who row away, which is hilarious. Alright, so did that infrastructure situation sort itself out? Yes. Good. Alright, so yes, we can definitely start to focus a little bit more on production. So I'm going to double down on Moscow and then build civilian factories in Moscow. Diplomatic focus gives you 100 political power. That is true, it does. I'm already at war with some of my neighbours, so I think we're just going to say that we're going to be expansionist. The theory of expansionism constitutes that Russia's borders are only as safe as they are distant from our heartland. Every neighbouring state which is not a puppet of the Russian state is, as such, a threat or a target, depending on their military and political strength. Needless to say, this adaptation of policies will not be well liked by the rest of the world. Do it. Because obviously, every country in the world is poorly run, so long as it's not run by Wrangel. Check for a focus tree that gives political power. I've already done all of them, I think. Patriotic ceremony. Marvellous. Because I've already done the political ones over here. I've done the industrial. I can't get the commissars yet. Why not? Have to have completed army modernization. Oh, it doesn't actually give political power. No, these are just bonuses. Oh, there's some infrastructure. Oh, that's the Wrangel's infrastructure construction. Seeing that's what I'm doing at the moment, maybe I should get the army modernization mechanized divisions and then that one. Yeah, I can get them all. Alright. Wait. Oh, I'm already doing one. Duh. Another fun fact, you probably knew this. Vladimir was the guy who converted Russia. It wasn't Vladimir, it was Rurik. which is where the name Rurikovich came from, which was the ruling dynasty of Russia for a long time. Pretty sure it was Rurik, not Vladimir. Anyway, who converted Russia to Orthodox Christian. Apparently he evaluated every religion, decided he wouldn't turn to Islam because they wouldn't allow the drinking of alcohol. Yes, that is one I knew. MacArthur might win the Civil War. I kind of suspect he will. Is this MacArthur or is this Garner still? Garner kept control. This is all Garner's doing. It's because MacArthur didn't take over that they're winning. So they've taken out the PSA, which means all the troops that they had lined over here will now be pushing east. And these guys are in trouble. And they even held on to Norfolk the entire time. That's hilarious. Oh, can you imagine if I'd been involved in this war a bit longer? Because they would have had the whole of New England. I would have held that, I'm pretty sure of it. And probably would have been able to take out the CSA. But I am... Wow. Well done, USA. You've deserved that. You've deserved that. Have they just given up attacking me? It kind of feels like they've just given up. I could attack them back, and I'm actually starting to get some more equipment together. What are we down to? 56,000 deficit. But Wrangel is mostly a defensive genius. Nizhny Novgorod building more of the civilian factories. Good, good, good. Expansionism will be done. So do I want to wait until expansionism is done? And then not get a focus until I can get economy up and running. So I'd need 300 political power for that. Or do I want to rush towards military infrastructure development? 70, 140, 210 days. Oh no! I pressed space. I didn't actually click anything there. Apparently I'm allied to them. No. No, 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 no. 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 Except this means rewinding 26 days. Ugh. Well, I pretty much know what I was doing, so fine. Irritating, though. Oh. Nope, doesn't taste the same when it's cold. Still nice, though. I mean, I don't mind being allied with them, but I wanted to know what the other options are. So we're still getting expansionism, that's fine. Yeah, that had only just finished, so nothing else has changed as far as I'm aware. These are being built. I was still just thinking about whether I wanted to grab this or wait. I mean, the infrastructure is what I'm going to be building while waiting for the focuses to go up to get the military factories. So I may as well get these first and then get the military stuff.